It's Harriers Hotline, the final word with myself, Wes, and my friend Shane at Non-League Writer. Hello, Shane. How are you feeling tonight?
How we doing, Wes? Well, not so good after Tuesday night. I think it's fair to say, but we'll come on to that, won't we?
We really will. So we were poor, out-battled, out-thought. That's quite hard to say. Tell me, Shane, tell me in a nutshell, 30 seconds, what went wrong?
What went wrong? Poor, out battled, out fought, out thought, and say that 10 times after 5 beers. But but this is a Frank Lampard transition for you. But no, seriously, Alfreton, they came to do a job and they did it. They said on their Twitter, it was a perfect away performance from their boys. And to be fair, it was. It was go shuttle shop, utilised the big target man Matt Reid, who's been doing this to teams at this level, the level above that for what, 15 years.
Wow.
It was just, it was almost like an old Harriers performance in the worst way.
Really?
Rolled over.
So my thoughts are this, Shane. We never play well against teams like that, do we? We never do. And in the playoffs, every team in that playoff is going to play that way, surely. There's going to be no pretty teams in the playoffs. They're just going to go for it, right? Is that right, do you think, Shane?
I think it's a fair point. If you look at who's in and around it at the minute, is what ourselves, Chorley, we know what a Chorley team do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do.
York. But they're probably the only footballers side in the playoffs, apart from us, are York. We've done the double over them because we can play against sides like that.
Yeah,
You look at who's coming up on the hinges. Southport, who we play on Saturday, very very tough game. Those of us who were there back in August know just what a difficult side of Liam Watson Southport team is, especially this season. Kettering again. Those of us who were there on the Tuesday night on the cabbage patch that was Latimer Park know exactly what a former Paul Coxsnoe and Culverhouse side are going to do. Just like Culverhouse's Kings Lynn did a couple of years ago. There's a lot of rough and tumble that's coming up into the playoffs, and if we're going to do promotion, it's going to be the hard way, and we really need to be able to stand up to it, really.
Do you know who I think we were missing? Matt Preston.
Very fair point. It's no coincidence, is it, that ever since that injury happened, obviously against Alfreton, ironically, that there's been a gaping hole in the back line, but we've not been helped that Bedrami's been out for a while as well.
No.
And we're just picking up injuries. To our guest coming on shortly, missed the game with an injury. Bedrami's been out. Cameron's just come back. We're suffering injuries, and we picked another one up on Tuesday night with Sam Austin getting poleaxed late on by Matt Reid. Who else? And he had to be helped from the field on his feet, so he may just have his bell rung. But if that is a concussion related injury, obviously there's protocols that we need to go through these days, and there's no news coming from the club yet that I've seen. But if it is a concussion protocol, that's another player that we're without for 2 weeks, and it's a difficult time, and the bad thing is it's seeping into the fan base a little bit now. There's a lot of frustration, and it's starting to manifest if you read social media.
Yeah. Now, Shane, I get it and I don't get it. I get that fans are annoyed because they've paid their hard money, their hard-earned money, and they want to see their team play well. And that's not going to happen every game. Unfortunately, at the moment, we seem to be on this roller. We're in this circle of despair, as they call it in radio, circle of despair, and it's just going down. But there's no Harriers player on that pitch who wants to lose that game. They don't want to lose that game. They don't want to play bad. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think getting the teams back, especially when we're this close to the end of the season, is the right thing to do. Now, people might shoot me down. I wasn't there, and that's fine. And I might have, well, I don't know if I reacted differently. I'm a bit older now, a bit older and uglier, so I don't know. But, that's my thoughts, Shane, really. I don't know. I think if we've come this far and we're still in the playoffs, all we've got to do, now this is going to sound stupid, but all we've got to do is win. How many games is the playoff? 3?
3. Well, 3 if we don't finish in the top in second or third. So it is looking like 3.
So yeah. So if we finish, all we have to do is win 3 games at the end of the season in a row. You ever thought of it like that? All we got to do is win 3. Well, make sure we're in the playoffs, obviously, and then win 3 games in a row. How many games have we won this season, Shane? Stato? How many have we won this season? You should know that off by heart, my friend.
All competitions. Let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
It's
11,
a lot anyway.
12,
It's more than
13,
3.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 24 from 35 completed National League North games plus the 6 or 7 for the Cup. So it's a high percentage. And if you think of it like the Cup, obviously with Calso, Ware, Bedfont, Grimsby, Reading, it's
It got harder. Started easy, got harder.
Well, to be fair, Wes, I do see your point. It's it's. I think it is that word frustration because if you look at it like that, but it's also what 1 win in 9.
I know.
It's that. Well, it's as I mean, it's like Amari said last week. Amari Morgan Smith when he came on and was ever so generous with his time.
Yeah,
they want it. And sometimes it is just a little bit of luck. Was there? Conspiracy theories aside from that game back in February, did that player go and say, you know what, I'm going to snap somebody's leg? No, it was a bit of bad luck, and the bad luck's just continued in that circle of despair, as you called it.
It is.
Now, there were times earlier in the season where we escaped, and we had the positive luck now again, the negative luck. But as we always say, everybody has a blip. This is our blip, and it's a bloody big one.
Yeah.
But York. Let's have a look at York. Do you remember when the start of the season?
Yep.
They had a similar run.
Yeah, they did.
Chester have arguably had a full season blip.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only side really on having a blip are probably Gateshead and Brackley, and obviously that big title decided the other day.
Yeah.
Brackley
supposedly, then they drew 0-0 with Curzon,
which looked to be a fantastic rearguard display from Curzon, uncharacteristically,
obviously
at the minute. But I just don't think that getting on the backs is going to help anything.
It's not going to help anyone. We just got to keep it together.
There are a handful of games from the end of the season. It's a tough run. We all said from March onwards it was going to be a tough run, and I do think it's just a case of raised expectations, and maybe we just lost sight a little bit of that because there was over 2,000 there again on Tuesday night, and if we'd have done a straw poll at the start of the season, you're going to lose a few games, but you're going to be in fourth. You're still going to be in pole position to make the playoffs. I don't think many of us would have been turning that down. No. I'll grant the performances haven't been great. The results haven't been great.
No.
But it's that old saying, isn't it? Form is temporary, class is permanent. This team who was superb back in October, November, December, January, they've not become a bad side overnight. Russ Penn has not become a bad manager overnight.
Yeah,
Jimmy O'Connor has not become a bad assistant manager and coach overnight.
No.
What goes up must come down. But when it comes down, it's that cycle. It will come back up again.
When you're at the bottom, we're not even at the bottom. This is ridiculous. When it's like we're in the relegation, we're not. We're just
we're talking like we do. We're talking like we're Guiseley.
I know.
We're talking like we're Guiseley.
Yeah. As Buster Moon says in Sing 1 and 2, the only way when you're at the bottom is to the top. Something like that, anyway. So, by the way, our interview tonight, he just sent me a tweet and he said, I'll be there in 5 minutes, just washing up. What a guy. What a guy, just washing up. Shane, a quick question. What did you think to the April Fool's joke that went wrong, which was the away shirt, which everyone got excited about? Did you see it?
Yeah, I caught that. Just a nice bit of social media interaction, which I'm sure from your line of work, Wes, you'd have appreciated. It was an open goal, really, wasn't it? It's been attached to us all season pretty much. So it was just a nice easy layup, nice easy
Yeah, but the
tap in,
thing was,
and we've done it.
some fans were ringing the club shop and were like, "Yeah, hi there, hi there. When can I order it, please?" But they're stupid if they don't do it, man. They're absolutely stupid if they just don't go for it.
It's marketing 101 in it, really.
Yeah.
And if some people are going to fall for it, then well, let's not go there.
I would buy that away shirt, to be fair. And
it's an improvement on some of the offerings, isn't it?
The offerings are now. Don't get me wrong. Well, actually, I'm not a massive fan of the home shirt, to be honest. I haven't been for a while, but only because it's like someone has got a normal training T-shirt off the rail and smashed the badge on and a bit of sponsorship and gone, there you go, there's your new kit for the season. I think there needs to be a bit more than that. Like your Kappa one you're wearing, really nice. This one, which we won the league in, this is great. Doesn't fit me, mind, but there you go. There's just something about it. I don't know, Shane. I don't know.
But again, it's probably it's the way of football, really.
Of course it is.
There's not a lot of character these days, is there, in kits? Or look at the new build stadiums.
Yep, all the same.
That some of you tuning in will have been to York this season or Boston's new place, or even Fields, which is obviously still relatively new.
Yeah,
in the last decade or so, it's all very cookie cutter these days, and you do miss the character of an Agra, a Booth, and Crescent back in the day. Dare I say it, an Edgar Street, even though it is falling down, would be.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us would still rather visit a place like that than we would just an other new build, if you will.
Do you remember when my best friend Colin wanted to build a stadium in Stourport? That's why I loved him. I loved him for stuff like that. Just random stuff, just out of nowhere. Just crazy. I loved it. He got so much PR out of it, though, didn't he? We made national news. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sure there's again, those tuning in on Friday morning probably said a few choice words beginning with PR after you said that, but we'll keep it clean, so we don't want to get kicked off YouTube.
No, that'd be bad. That'd be just not the best way to do things. So he's coming eventually. I'm just hoping that he can actually get through, because we've had to change the Zoom link. He said, I'd just be 5 minutes, just washing up. I don't know how many plates he's a big boy, though, isn't he? So he must eat a lot of food. So, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, any more thoughts, Shane, as we go into, I'm going to be there on the 3rd. All right. Okay. So before I let him in, is he wearing a baseball cap or not? What do you think?
Oh, I'm going to go yes.
I'm going to say no. Let's have a look. Round of applause, please. Round of applause. Yes. Alex, my friend, welcome to the final word. We just had a bet about would you be wearing a baseball cap or not?
Yeah.
Shane said yes, and I said no. Get it.
First one wrong of the day.
Hey, well, really.
I completely forgot up until I just started loading, and then I was thinking, oh wait, do I actually need to wear one? Then I thought, I don't have any laying around, so
you don't need to. It's so funny though. Luke Simpson, I said to him, I was winding him up. I said, Luke, I said, mate, it's great that you come on the interview, but it'd be even better if you actually wore your full kit. And he was like, I mean, I've got a tracksuit. I was like, yeah, put that on with your full kit underneath.
No, he didn't.
No, he did, but he didn't in the end. But he did. He was proper gonna go for it. Anyway, we should start. We've recorded anyway. We should start. Alex, welcome.
We started already.
Yeah, of course we have. We're mad for this, my friend. We're mad for this. Okay, so welcome to Harriers Hotline, Alex. I'm Wes, and that's Shane. Shane got the first question for you.
Let's go.
Listening to a podcast you did with the high press guys, and I don't think a lot of people realise just the career you've had up to date. So if you wouldn't mind, would you like to talk us through a little bit of that, from where you started and how you ended up down here in the Midlands and ultimately with us at Harriers?
So it all started when I was playing for my local side. Was playing down there. Well, to be honest, I weren't really into football when I was so young. I was more into basketball. But then it was like one of my schoolmates' dads who said they was getting a team together for the local area, and I just thought, well, got nothing else to do. We'll try it out because I was started playing football at school with my mates and stuff, and I thought I'm all right at this, so I'll go down. And then yeah, obviously managed to get on the team. There was only about 10 or 11 of us, so wasn't going to struggle there. Spent a few years there within the CAFC till I was 12, and got taken on by Hull City. But in between that period, I've been on trial at Hull City twice, and they didn't take me on either time. So I guess you can say it's third time lucky. Um, so I'd done that. Was at Hull from the age of 12 till I was 18. But when I was 18, they did offer me an extension to my scholarship because I had a serious injury in my second year, and which I chose to turn down because I was told at the time, because I'd gone on trial at Burnley, and they told me they was going to offer me something. Just come back in first day of pre-season, and we'll look to sign you. Hopefully, just do a couple of weeks with the lads here, and then get something more permanent for you. And it was maybe the day or 2 days before I got a phone call from my agent at the time, just said, "Oh, everything's fallen through at Burnley, not happening or whatever." So, that left me. Well, it blindsided me, to be honest. I didn't really know what I was going to do from there on in. I didn't know whether I was going to continue playing football, where I was going to play football, if football was going to be my career path. But I was fortunate that my uncle, my uncle Andrew, he was the assistant manager and still is the assistant manager at Bedworth United. And he said, "Well, if you just want to, won a few games, like just come down and play whatever and stuff." And I was hesitant at the time, but it worked out beneficially to me because I had a trial at Birmingham City just before it. So I thought, well, let me go down to Birmingham City, see what happens there. Went down, was there for a week, didn't get offered anything. But then I chose to stay down at this point, thinking, well, let me just, go see what Bedworth's like. Let me just go, get a feel for the environment, if you like. And I remember I played the one game, and it was after that game the manager said, "Oh, we'll take him on and stuff." Didn't go to plan there at Bedworth. I think I only played a handful of games on and off the bench, and it was frustrating. Got to move from there to Stourbridge because I just got told that the manager had seen me, or I heard of my name in the area, and he just wanted to check me out and stuff. Gary Hackett. Gone across there, first training session. I felt at the time trained unbelievably, and I'll be modest in when I say that. But it was from there he then snatched me up, and I was there for a couple of months, but wasn't playing at all. Was playing maybe 23 games or a reserve game every now and then. Was getting frustrated, getting upset, just like what's the point almost, if you like. And at the time started working 3 jobs as well as playing football because I just thought I need a good source of income. Yeah. But then it was from there, that's when Carl Abbott had spoken to Stourbridge wanting to take me on loan at Hinckley. So I thought, I mean, if I'm going to play, then I'll do it because I just wanted to play football. And I'm ever so grateful that it happened because, and I'm sure I'm not the only player in the world that just needed to find happiness within football again. And going across to Hinckley, I was able to do that. Then Hinckley, went from Hinckley to Nuneaton, had a season at Nuneaton, done really well, I felt. And then it was Nuneaton to Peterborough. Peterborough was cut short. I had serious injury. I dislocated my shoulder. So I was out for the rest of the season from January. And then Steve Evans came in and basically said I wasn't going to play underneath him, which I have to accept because I'm not going to turn around and say I could have turned around and said, well, I want to prove you wrong. His mind was already made up. He's the new manager who wants to bring new players in. So that was frustrating, but had to accept it, had to move on. And it was from there I got a call to go play in Scotland at Hamilton. In my mind at the time thinking, yeah, this will be great. Scottish Premier League. If I do well up here, hopefully one of the top 6 sides will snatch me up. And I played maybe 4 or 5 games at the start, and then for some reason I think it was after we played against Motherwell. We just won 1-0, and I remember I'd done well in that game, and it was after that game I just got dropped and didn't get a sniff for like a few months. A few months later, threw me in against Rangers. Probably had the worst game of my career. Well, sorry, worst 15 minutes of my career. I'll say that. Gave away 2 penalties in the space of 7 minutes or something stupid. I ended up losing that game 4-1, and I was just so furious. And then, then I was just told by the manager and the chairman that I wasn't wanted up there anymore. So I was like, well, thanks for dragging me 5.5 hours away from my home where I could have, been better off. And then I was kind of stuck then at this point, just didn't really know what to do. I was obviously speaking to my agent back and forth daily, seeing what possibilities were out there and where I could possibly go. Couldn't get a sniff anywhere. There was trials at I trialed at Grimsby, Wrexham, Fylde, all in the space of like a couple of months, but the season was just starting and I'd not got a club yet. So I'm already on the back foot and like trying to play catch up with everybody because I've not had a consistent pre-season. And it was shortly after I'd been on trial at Wrexham. Like each 3 of the clubs said the same thing, yeah, you're good, but we was kind of hoping that you was going to, ready to push on and, come slot straight in and be part of the team. And obviously I wasn't because of fitness and stuff. Sorry. And then that's when Boston were the only team like hanging around. They wanted me before I even went on any of these trials, and I was not bitter, not bitter, it's not that I weren't keen. It was just, well, I want to be playing full-time football, not part-time. That was the only sort of difference for me. But I had no other option on the table, so I took that just to get games in, as many games as possible in what short period of time there was then. And I felt like my time at Boston was good. We'd won quite a few games. We got, I think it was the first round proper. We got to against Rochdale, or maybe the second round. And like even still playing up until that point, it was good. But I know Kidderminster came knocking on the door. They wanted to put 7 days in for me. And my agent just said, like, look, speak to Boston, because if you're enjoying it there, you don't want to, upset anybody. You don't want to just go and not say a word or whatever, because I was only on a non-contract there. And I went and spoke, said, like, I want something more permanent. Like, if you guys want that, I want that. And like, everyone's happy as such. And this went on for like weeks and weeks. I kept going to the gaffer every single session. I spoke to the chairman, what's the crack? What's going on? Nothing. He just said, oh yeah, I'll chase it up with him. I'll speak to him. Never happened. And then it was from there. Kiddie put the 7 days in for me. Sorry, and 7 days after that, I was a kiddie player.
Nice, just to get that bit of security, wasn't it? I suppose. And of course, we say that. Then that little thing called COVID happened, didn't it? So how weird was that for you, coming to a new club, playing? I think it was just 1 game at home, 1 away, and then that was it, weren't it?
Yeah, it was weird. It was quite frustrating because I felt like, all right, I'm back in full-time football now. I'm ready to kick on. I'm ready to just see this season out and then go into next season with like a good handful of games under my belt, especially with the new side and stuff. And then I can be familiar with everybody before the new season starts. And yeah, it was just stop-start. As soon as that second game against Southport happened, that's when everything started flagging up, like the league's going to be cancelled as such. And it just took a massive impact, especially of my time here so far, because it's impacted 1.5 seasons for me. Yeah. And it's been like, it was frustrating at the time, but then as players, it was just one of them we had to deal with, because knowing that whenever COVID was going to stop, we knew we was going to be playing Saturday, Tuesday. So mentally you had to prepare yourself for it.
Unique challenge though, weren't it? Obviously something that you never really encountered. Again, it might be generations until we encounter something like this. So that's just got to have been, as we said, it was weird and really a lot to take in mentally as well as physically, from the resting for so long to then, as you say, going Saturday, Tuesday for weeks on end.
Can I just say, can I just jump in? I just want to say, Alex, man, you've dealt with a lot of adversity, be trying to be a footballer, man. That's crazy. We did this thing with Amari. You've not seen it, but I said to Amari, "Do you need a hug?" And he said, "Yes." So we're gonna Shane, bring it in. Everyone, bring it in. Come on, bring it in.
Bring it in. There we go.
There we go. Perfect. So yeah. I mean, when you're a kid, and when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be a footballer. But you don't dream of what you just described about, the way it goes and stuff. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, to be honest, Shane. That wasn't one of our questions to start with. We didn't think that you'd be like that, to be honest. So well done though. You've made the right choice. You're at the right team. We were massive. We are massive. We'll get massive again. No worries there. How's the groin?
I was when I seen that they put groin, it was actually my hamstring. Yeah, when I seen that they put that on Tuesday night, I was like, I won't say anything because it is what it is. But no, my hamstring is better than what I thought it was. Initially, when it first happened in the game on Saturday, I thought I'm not sure how this one's going to be because I physically couldn't walk. It was frustrating to me because having played so many games, I feel like I finally found my feet and established myself, if you like. But yeah, it was frustrating, but I got it assessed as soon as it happened, went in at halftime, had it checked. And yeah, the physio was concerned, but then I'd done everything right the Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday eased off and I was back training today.
Do you know what else was bittersweet? Now, I don't want to talk about it because I wasn't there, but you were. And you know what I'm going to say. You scored the goal that sent people just go mental all around the UK. I'm sure there was a lot of support for Harriers. In fact, everyone was a Harriers fan that afternoon, unless they're a West Ham fan. But even they were Harriers fans, I would have thought. But bittersweet, man. Come on, you've scored a goal against a Premier League side. You've celebrated the right side, by the way, in the East Stand, which is where we want everyone to come and celebrate, by the way. And we don't win the game. How just don't go on about it, but just tell us, how did you feel? Because that must have been just the worst for you. It must have been terrible.
Well, I think it was the worst for everybody. I won't say worse. It was just a good experience for everybody there involved. Fans, players, coaching staff. Yeah. It was good. But obviously on a personal note, having scored, and I've said it to everybody since, and I've said it to like my teammates and stuff. The 20-second period after I scored that goal, I would not be able to tell you my actions without having watched the video. Like I just remember obviously making contact with the ball hitting back of the net. I was thinking, my mind was just a blur. And when as the game went on, I just remember kept thinking like every chance they had, every time like it'd go out for a goal kick or would defend a corner or the ball would get cleared into their half of the pitch, I'm thinking, we're going to do this. Like I just genuinely believe we were going to do it. And I don't know, like I think it was Matt Preston cleared the ball out and it ended up with Declan Rice in his half. But even at that point, I'm thinking, like we've got a minute or like not even long, because it was shortly before that. That's when they put the board up. I'm thinking, we've got this. And then as soon as he scored that, like his goal, I was just thinking, I wanted to cry for obviously various reasons, because I was a minute and a half away from like history.
Yep.
But I was on a personal note, but then I know none of it would have happened without the teammates and stuff, etc. But like you think about the stories afterwards, like you could have told people, and your kids, your grandkids, etc. And then even more so when Jared scored in the 120th minute, that was the knife like in and twisted for me, because like having played with Jared, having like known Jared, and then for it to be him, it just
Alex, do you need to cry now? Because this is a safe environment. Shane, tell him it's a safe environment, man. Honestly.
Hearing the history now, I think I need to cry as well.
We're all crying. We're all crying. Shane, ask a question. Stop the crying.
We'll get off West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might be a little.
I don't want to talk about them ever again now. That's it now. I'm done.
So we've covered it now, haven't we?
Yeah, we've done it.
Might still be a little sore subject, Alex. So forgive me. mentioned about establishing yourself, but of course, the start of the season had Joe Folks, didn't you, ahead, which was a surprise to some of us, really. So, as an experienced player like yourself, how much of a challenge was that to see this young loanee come in and have to win your place back after coming in? You're thinking, right, I'm number one right back, and then just from nowhere, this kid from Warsaw's come in, and was it a case of he would go again, or was it a case of I can learn off him, he can learn off me, and we can fight over that? But it'd be a nice, lovely scrap, if you like.
Yeah. I feel as if as each game's gone on since like I'd been playing and stuff, I then soon realised like I actually needed Folksy to come in, because albeit I was playing games and stuff like last season, I just didn't have anybody there pushing me.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, Joe's like excellent, and he's younger, and he can read the game well and attack him. Like he can read the game better than what I could when I was his age. So for me to say that, it's like, right, well, I need to be just as good, if not better, for me to get back into the squad. So it's no discredit to Joe. If anything, like I'm thankful for that the reason that he came in, because it allowed me to step away, see what he does, and make sure I do it better. Because if he's doing it at that level and he's getting picked ahead of me, I need to stand out more than what he does. And I'm not a type of person that's just gonna like throw me toys out the pram and just be like, oh, he's playing over me, is what it is. No, I make sure that I fight, and I am going to get my place back. Like, unfortunately, so it happened when he got injured. Like, obviously, I don't wish an injury on anybody, but at the same time, after that game against Ware, I remember being on the coach back, and I was just like, right, well, I know I'm going to be playing Tuesday, and I'm going to make sure from that game on Tuesday, I'm not giving my shirt up to anybody again.
Can I just say a round of applause for that attitude? That's what the kids need to see. They need to see that. The kids, they need to see that. I just want to ask you, because you won't believe this, Alex, but I've never been a professional footballer. I've never played in the Premier League, even though I dreamt about it a couple of times. But you were signed for, was it £50,000 someone signed you for?
Yeah, that was Peterborough. That was when I'd gone from Nuneaton to Peterborough.
Okay, so when someone says, oh yeah, there's a team coming, they want to sign you for 50 grand, we're going to sell you by. How do you deal with that? How do you honestly deal with knowing that you're worth £50,000 as a footballer? All right, it's not 50 million, but it's still, it's still more than the average Joe. How do you deal with that?
I think people back home and people who I'm more close with back home and stuff thought more of it than I did, because me being in football, knowing that people get sold for 50 million or even 5 million. As soon as you hit a million, like this player's got something about him. So they made it out more than what I ever did. I just thought 50k, like, it was understandable. Like, I've just got to go here and show that I'm worth every penny.
I'm worth at least 100k. Thank you very much.
Well, that's what I was hoping for, but it didn't work out that way.
It happens. Next question. Let's go back to the game and Agborough and stuff. Alex, how much difference do the fans make to the team when they're all singing, they're all going for it? How much difference does it make to the team?
Oh, as players, I think with COVID and stuff as well over the last 2 years, we only got a bit of taste of it at home at Agborough when it was Hereford. And I think that game we drew 1-1, but even still, I don't think the fans realise, for us, it's massive, because each team every team up and down the country, you've got a 12th man, you've got an extra man on your side without knowing that. And if the fans are behind you from the first minute, the first day, it's just a massive boost. And albeit, we've not had the greatest performances in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, however long it may be. The fact that there's the people are still willing and wanting to pay their money to come watch, we have to give that back almost by the performances, and it helps just as much when the fans are there singing from minute one, and even don't want to go on about it, but the West Ham game or the Reading Halifax game, Grimsby game, every one of those games, and the league games in between, the Harriers fans were in, like, majority of the North Stand were in like 20 minutes before we'd even warmed up. And throughout the warm up, you can just hear them singing, and then it fills you with goosebumps and confidence, like knowing no matter what happens today, we're gonna win.
I love that.
So
Shane.
what we've got to remember as well, this is coming from somebody who's played against Rangers, has played Championship or League One with Peterborough as well. So I think as fans we need to remember it's not just a platitude, which, you know, a lot of us may be guilty of thinking at times, because it's an easy get out, isn't it? Fans are great and everything, but just coming from yourself, where you've probably played at Ibrox when you was up north, you've played at the second tier, third tier with the posh. We played in bigger crowds, but it's still that effect that our crowd can have. We need to feel like we almost need to just get back to that a little bit.
Yeah, it's because I feel like as if this season we have, and throughout the whole season, we as a community have built that again. Because I remember here, like when I first signed there, I remember Richard and the gaffer and stuff, like our first day, and they were saying, let's just build the community. Once we build the community and get the fans back in, get them back on our side, and get them wanting to come and watch us, like you'll feel a massive relief off your shoulders, knowing that you've got them behind you. Because once you got them behind you, like you just take each game as it comes and take it in your stride. Excuse me. So the fact that we've been able to do it over the season, I'm grateful to be a part of, because I've not had that sort of feeling at a club where you've been able to just interact with fans. Like after a game, you can just go over to them and just chat to them. Or I could see them out on the streets and stuff, and just want to chat and get to know you almost. So it's a nice feeling to have that.
And I just say, Alex, thank you so much for coming on. This isn't the end of it, by the way. I'm just saying, thank you so much for coming on. It's because I get a lot of comments from people saying that, do you know what? These are the best interviews because they're not run by the club, and you ask questions that you get to find out about the player. You get to find out about things. I'm sure no one, apart from Shane, obviously, no one watching this would have known about your backstory, about how many clubs you played for and stuff. You know, and that kind of thing. And no one knows that you drink out of an I Love Wales mug. Is that correct? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, my mum got me this when she she went away with my stepdad for the weekend. And this was just before I signed here, actually. And she knew that I was going to be living in the house with all the lads and whatnot. So she got me a mug to make sure that
no one touched it.
But hey, it's going to go with me even to my next house or my next destination. It's going to go with me.
I love that. I live in Wales, by the way. So yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Oh, whereabouts?
Southwest Pembrokeshire. If you know that, do you know that at all? Imagine going really far. One of the Harriers fans, actually, Glyn, who goes to all the games. He's been to like over 400 grounds, right? That's a lot of grounds to go to. And one of his team, he loves Harriers, he loves Rangers, he loves Villa, and he loves Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth. Oh yeah, that's very west.
Yeah, and he went and saw Aberystwyth play Haverfordwest, who are the local team to me. And he texted me and he said, mate, it was like I drove to the ends of the world. I was like, yeah, that's what I feel like every time I go and watch Harriers and come back again. So
I've done journeys down to Wales. I've done like journeys to I don't even know how to pronounce it. Llanelli or so how I would say it.
Yeah, my rugby team plays Scarlets. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to it. Not talk about Wales. We'll talk about Wales later. You carry on. What you're drinking? Is that Heineken? Are you pretending that's a beer, isn't it? That's a beer.
No, that's a cup of tea. I'm a Yorkshireman, so we love us tea.
Love it. I love it. I hope that's Yorkshire tea as well. If it's not, then this ends.
Everybody who knows me, I won't drink anything but Yorkshire tea.
Good stuff. Well, we got loads at my house, so you can stay over anytime you like. It's fine. Shane, next question, please.
Yeah, we'll just get lighten the tone a little bit. We've been very serious with the football side. We'll get a little bit lighter. We've mentioned the fans, so you've mentioned the North Stand. So we saw Geraldo do it, didn't we, a few months back?
Oh yeah.
Well, Alex Perry, what are the odds of you getting into the North Stand if you were injured? And what song would you be starting?
See, the thing is, I've done this before. I remember That is so bad. We'd done this before. When I was at Peterborough, I was in. Oh no, I weren't injured. I just weren't in the squad, and we didn't get allocated seats for like the lads that weren't in the squad because usually they'd just go sit behind the dugouts or something like that. But we weren't allowed to sit there, so we just said like, where we're supposed to go? Oh, just go in the away end, you'll be fine. It's like, well, guess we'll have to go and do it. So there was 3 of us walked up, stood in the away end, and the exact same thing happens. What happened with G? We had to sing a song, and I remember I didn't get into trouble for it afterwards, but they just said when like if stuff like that happens, just be careful because like we nearly got thrown out as players by the steward. But all we was doing is singing, but because we had his tracksuits on, they recognised. They said like they're players, they shouldn't be in there. But I feel like I would do it.
You're dodging the question here a bit, Alex. If I'm honest,
I'm getting back to it.
You are getting there.
I'm just saying it's happened to me before.
He's got previous, Shane. He's got previous.
This scarred.
So I would. The thing is, I would do it, but at the same time, I'd just have to pick my song wisely. If Simo was at our end, then I'd sing England's number one. I feel like that would be the first thing that comes to my head.
Yeah,
nice and safe.
I like Lee Simpson. He's a classy lad. Wearing his shell suit to the interview with his mate. Oh man, that's amazing. Oh, sorry, Shane. So we got a yes. Did we get a yes?
Yes, I'll
it's a yes.
say
We're taking that as a yes.
Take it as a yes.
Yeah. I've got a story about I've got a question about your family. I saw a photo of you, Alex Penny, and your mum after a match. Does she follow you everywhere or?
Yes. Yes. She because I'm from Hull originally, she still lives over that way. And with work and stuff, she just finds it hard to get the time off and be able to come to like as many games as possible. Like if I lived closer to home, she would be at every single one, hands down. But every single club I've been at, even from like obviously Hull, Nuneaton and stuff, like throughout each team, she's always followed and always been like my number one fan, if you like. And I'm sure those who like all the Harriers fans on Twitter will see my mum commenting on like asking questions on Twitter because she don't care. She just wants to know how son's getting on.
Oh, did she ever pick a fight with anyone on Twitter? That'd be a laugh. You take the piss out of my son. No,
the thing is, she wouldn't pick a fight like on Twitter. She'd either call me or she'd wait until she saw me next and she'd be like, by the way, who's this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's probably just a fan. And then she was like, right, well, if they keep saying so-and-so or going on about this, like, I'm going to get involved.
Yeah.
Mum, don't bother. She'll get me into trouble more than herself.
Oh, that's sweet, though. Alex, I've got a great question for you that I've asked. You're the 5th interview I've done now. Well, we've done. Well, I've done,
You've done.
On Harriers Hotline. And it started off with Ash Hemmings. And he gave the best answer to this question. Everyone answers this question. What were your first pair of football boots, and do you still have them?
I don't have them. No, because my mum, they had the house completely redone, so she threw everything out possible, which I was devastated by. But my first knowledge of my pair of boots were David Beckham like Predators. But do you remember there was white and blue, and they had his little like David Beckham logo on them.
Oh, I think I remember that.
On the tongue. Yeah, they were my first ever pair.
Nice. See, Ash said that his first pair of boots were a pair of Reebok, and they were 2 sizes too big, so he had to wear 3 pairs of socks.
Oh God, no, mine were. I still remember mine. I remember scoring my first goal in them as well. They were the best boot. Well, second best pair of boots I've ever had.
Nice, I love that. Predator. See, no one would have known that. No one would have known that about Predator. This is what we do. The thing we do. There you go. Shane, you're next, right?
Oh yeah, it was the golden era of football boots, and we get that broken here on the hotline. But bringing it back to bringing it away from the promotion and back to Alex Penny, you're Yorkshireman, Hull Academy. Mm-hmm. The question is, who are your team and why? If it wasn't obvious.
My team is actually Man United.
Oh my God, it's like AMS.
Because they were the first team that I went to watch live. So from that moment, bearing in mind my mum's a United supporter. But even still, if I wanted to go to any, like every kid gets to go to their first football game. If I'd have gone to a Hull City game, my first game, they would be the team. But my first one was Man United, and ever since that day, always been a United fan.
What were the team?
It was Man United versus Arsenal 2006. Oh yeah, 2006, and they lost 1-0. Adebayor scored in like the 84th minute. Yeah, and I remember that just broke my heart.
Was that when Arsenal were like winning everything? Was that era or not?
It was the same season where it was just after the World Cup season where Rooney and Ronaldo had their thing.
Yeah.
So it was when
They're
United
loving.
won. Yeah, it was when United won the 3 Premier League titles in a row. It was like just the beginning of that before they got to like how great they were and still are.
We learned something, and I can't remember who it was with. I can't remember if it was Ash or Luke, but we learned that a lot of the Harriers players don't live in Worcestershire. We learned that there's a lot of carpool sharing and stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
So who is in your carpool?
My carpool.
Yeah.
Well, me and Ethan stay in Kidderminster, so me and Ethan stay in the house that's down here. So me and Ethan are always together. But then Caleb stays at the house with us. So our carpool is mainly us three, me, Caleb, and Ethan.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. I say there's a lot of car schools. There's about 4 or 5 different car schools that go on.
It's mental. It's absolutely mental. I don't think this has ever happened before. Shane, has this ever happened before where so many players have not lived in Worcestershire?
I mean, in terms of Harriers, I don't know, because obviously that's all private, but it is a thing. It's just weird to people like you and me, until I suppose. Yeah, we go to work. You all come from the immediate area to do your warehouse job or your teaching job or whatever. It's just another example, really, of how unique football is as an industry. That even at this level, you're still in the top couple of percent of high-performing athletes, and people forget that. I think I was saying when Amari was on last week, it's people will give you stick for just being a player at this level or that level, but you're still in a 1%, 2% bracket of high performance, which it's to a lot of people really is unthinkable, isn't it? Really.
Well, I've never really had that, to be honest. Like from the area I grew up in, it was such a small town, so anybody who was then going to go on to be successful, whether it be like football or like art, let's say, or anything, you was always going to be recognised for that in that area. So everyone knew me and my brother at the time as well, like footballers, like they're going to be like play for Hull City, this, that, and the other. So whenever I go back home, and they might see me do things that I wouldn't normally do, but they might just see me like walking down the street, and they'll just like, "Oh, we saw Alex Penny Bob doing this." I'm like, "Oh, I'm just walking down the street. Like, why is it such an issue?" Or
you walk down with certain swag. Is that what it is?
Not even. I just walk down, and like, so say if I've not seen my mates for like I've not seen my mates for nearly a year from back home. So like, first thing we'll get together, we'll go play pool, and we'll have like maybe a couple of drinks together, and I'll be sat there, and I'll just be like people want to come up to me and speak to me, and like 9 times out of 10, I just want to just enjoy my night. Like I don't want to talk about football because I'm not at football at the minute. I just want to be home and enjoy being at home.
Oh, that's sweet. There was another question about the carpool thing. So there's 3 of you. You got space for another one. Which footballer in the world would you like to be in that car with you going to training? It could be anyone. It doesn't have to be a Harriers player. It could be anyone.
Anybody.
Yeah, I know. I hate my questions. They're so good sometimes.
But I think for all 3 of us, because we're United fans, Ethan's a Coventry fan, but he's got United in his heart. But I think for all 3 of us, if we chose a United player, so if I was to say Ronaldo, I think they would be happy to say Ronaldo.
It's your choice, buddy. Don't you have to listen to them? It's your choice.
No, I like to make sure the group's happy. I'm not selfish, but if it was up to me, I'm choosing Ronaldo.
Fair dues.
All day.
Every single day. Shame.
Get him signed up as well. Why not? Asian pennies on the case. What we saying?
Hey, I can do my best.
Oh dear. So feel like we've covered quite a lot of ground here, so I'm going to go back to one of our stock questions that Wes has asked the lads, and we asked Marvin the same as well. So, what is the day? Any day, it can be a training day or a day off. For you.
Weekend best. Well, when you're not playing, yeah.
Yeah. What is a day in the life of the footballer or the person, Alex Penny? What is that like?
I'll give you like during each. So I'll give you like a training day and I'll give you a day off. So me training. So say if like today, for example, or any training day, I'm always up at between 7 and 7:30. Very early, I know, because like we don't have to usually be until maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I'm always up first in the house. I'm always up earlier. So I just get up, shower, brush my teeth, get ready. Well, no, actually, get up, shower, brush my teeth, go downstairs, and I personally wash the kit for the lads because when I first come here, Declan Weeks used to do it because he was in the house. So I thought if like I understand why he's doing that, it's easy for everybody. Like your kit's like everyone's kit's there folded up, and then there's none of this. Oh, you've got my jumper, blah blah blah. Right, I'll do it. Take that responsibility out of your hands. So I do that. Come up, get changed. I may or may not call the missus in the morning because like she's obviously 2.5 hours away, depending on what goes on. Breakfast, get to training, do all my individual bits that I need to do, like to get myself ready for training. Then whatever training occurs on the day. So if it's a Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be at the gym in the afternoon. So I know I've got to take extra kit and stuff. Might go for a Costa with the boys to see if they're on it, see what they want to do, which 9 times out of 10 everybody usually goes, and then come back, just make food. I'll make 2 lots of food. So I'll make food for what I eat on the night, and then I'll make some for my lunch the next day. So I'm always like a day ahead of myself. And that's typically normally how like a training day would go for me. And then it depends on a Wednesday and Sunday. If it's a Wednesday, during the week, I'll go and see my nan normally because she only lives 20-25 minutes down the road. So I'll go and see her and just check in on her, make sure she's all right, and she's obviously got a food shopping, etc. and blah blah blah. Make sure she's okay. But then sometimes I'll just go on the plate. Like 9 times out of 10, if I've done everything I need to do and there's no bits I need to do for myself or phone calls I need to make or people don't need to get in touch with me, I'll just go on the PlayStation and just enjoy my time on there.
Nice.
Have you ever, Alex Penny, in your career, had the day off on Sunday and just been walking past the park and there's a load of kids playing football and just joined in with them? Have you ever done that?
I've not done it with football. I've done it with basketball though, because I'm a huge basketball fan. Where was we? Oh, we was in Scotland. This one I was in Scotland at the time, and no matter where I am, I always try and go see like a local basketball team if there is one in the area. And there's Glasgow Rocks up there, and I remember we was on his way. I was on my way into Glasgow to go and see if I can get to the game if the tickets have been sold. But then there was like a basketball court just outside where the arena is, and there was a bunch of kids playing. There was me and the lad at the time who was up there with, and I was thinking, gosh, like, should we go? Should we not? And he didn't want to go, so I was thinking, well, you stay in the car, I'm going. Went across and went across, and then just said, oh, like lads, do you mind if I join in it? And it was weird up in Scotland because they were very skeptical because I was thinking, like, there's a mixed race guy coming up to us asking if we can play. What's about to go on? Like, I could see it in their face without them having to say it. And then, but no, it was actually it was good. It was good, like good environment. They were saying like, oh, what you doing up here? Blah blah blah. And then as soon as I said I played for the team up there, like Hamilton, I was like, oh, that's it. And then they started talking about the Rangers game and the incident, and that really just made me want to leave.
You shit. That's how they said.
But no, it was good. That's the only time I've done it. I would never do it with football because I'd be more scared to get injured that way.
I understand that. Now let's talk about something really fun. Okay, this is another stock question that gets asked in every interview. Alex, I did say on Twitter that this was going to be pretty fun, this interview. It's going to be certainly an interview you've never had before, okay? So, right, Russ Penn, your gaffer, says, Alex, that was the best defensive effort I've ever seen in my life, and I want you to reward yourself with a cheat meal tonight. I'm going to pay for your cheat meal. Calories do not count. What are you going to go in for?
I'm laughing because it's weird. I can imagine the gaffer doing that.
Really?
Well, I couldn't, but I'm trying to get into that fancy mindset of like him coming up to me like on a Saturday just saying that. Well, actually, and this is hands down the best takeaway food I've ever had, hands down. And I'm trying to tell the lads the exact same that they need to go. There's a Chinese in Kidderminster called China Lodge, and I swear to God, no matter out of every single Chinese I've had up and down the country, best one, hands down.
So,
Like,
I can tell you that Ash Hemming said Chinese. Luke Simpson said Chinese. And what did Mamari say? What did Amari say? I can't remember now. I'm sure he said Chinese at some point. And a Sunday roast.
Yeah, Chinese Sunday roast, fish and chips.
See, now that I didn't even think of that.
No, I know. People don't. He doesn't like pizza though, which was a bit weird. I mean, I love AMS, but he doesn't like pizza. And yeah, he said he'd eat it, but he said he didn't like it. So I was unsure. You don't really trust people who don't like pizza, I don't think. So yeah.
I'm thinking about fish and chips now because I grew up on the seaside, so I know how good fish and chips is.
Can be if you get the right place. And Alex,
hey.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Amari. That is, when Jan Mulby was the manager, after every away game, the coach used to park up by the chip shop and they'd all have fish and chips on the way home. Every player would have fish and chips on the way home. He was so upset about this.
We need to get him in just like as, I don't know, just something in the boardroom or like, just to get him involved with Kitty again so we can all do that again after a game. Because I would be so happy with it. Yeah, I'd be so happy with fish and chips.
Really? But you said Chinese first. Now,
I'm not taking my answer back. I'm not taking it back because I can't. For those who haven't had the Chinese from there, please go and get it.
What's it called?
It's called China Lodge.
China Lodge.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't sound
sponsorship available if it gets
well, when I remember the first time I went, I remember like pulling up outside. I was looking at it, just thinking, I'm not sure about this. Like, and I'm like looking at TripAdvisor and stuff. I think it said it had like 3.4 stars. I was thinking, oh God. I tested the place because I messaged two lads who live around Kidderminster at the time. Said message them both at the same time. We'll see what they come back with. Where's the best like Chinese like in the area? Both of them simultaneously messaged back saying China Lodge, you'll love it. Well, I'd best try it out. Never going back on that one.
Well, so where I live in Wales, I live 1 mile away from Wales's best Chinese restaurant. And I invited Ash to start with. He was very excited. Then I invited Luke, who was very, very excited. I invited Amari, who was very excited that he had a friend. And then I'm inviting you to come down in your end of season. You guys come down. I'll treat you all to a Chinese. We'll have the best night. Honestly, you'll love it.
We'll do that. And then we'll go Barry Island and stuff like the next day.
I knew that was coming.
We'll have to, because I'm a massive Gavin and Stacey fan. So my mum's been, so I want to go down there and see it for myself.
There's not a lot to it, mate, if I'm honest.
I'm like, listen, I grew up in a similar seaside town, so I know what to expect.
Getting the gamblers, happy days. Getting the gamblers.
Oh, listen, I'm more than happy to come.
I love that. We'll sort that out. That'll be fine. Shane, you can come along as well if you want to. That's fine.
Yeah, well, in the gamblers, but of course responsibly.
Of course. So it's Chinese
season though.
China Lodge, happy days. Shane, question. Your last one, mate.
Yeah,
it's flown by, man. It's flown by.
It's been brilliant. You've been generous with your time, Alex. So thanks for that.
Give round of applause again. Round of applause. Yes. Thanks, Alex. Thanks.
I'm not going to clap myself.
Well, you should do. Makes more noise, to be honest. Yeah.
But I mentioned obviously that the podcast that you did with the High Press guys at the start, and there was a certain story on there about your time at Peterborough, and Amari mentioned a little prank that he had this season as well. So you can leave your names out if you need to. But what would you say is the best one that you've had done to you, or you've done to somebody else?
Minus, I was actually thinking about this after I'd done that other podcast. I was thinking, I'm sure I've been involved in other ones, but that one was definitely up there because I was the culprit. No, I wasn't the culprit. I was the victim. I got victimized so bad.
What happened? Tell me. I don't know what happened. What's going on?
So I remember one day we'd come back from training and stuff, and like I remember speaking to some of the lads earlier on and said they was going to go for Nando's and that later on. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm up for it. I'll be up in my room, so just message me, let me know, or just shout me and I'll come down. Blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, okay, no problem. Time's getting on. Like it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Belly starts rumbling. Thinking I'm a bit hungry, so I was thinking to myself, like, why have I not gone yet? So I messaged the lad I was living with at the time. I said, are you downstairs? And he said, this is where I should have been a bit more switched on, because he took a while to message back, maybe like 5 minutes or so, which was unusual for him. And he said, no, mate, we're at Nando's. I went, oh, well, sound like, thanks for the invite. And he said, how long you been there? He said, oh, we're just finished. Like, we're just like sat down now. Do you want us to wait for you? And I said, do you know what? Sort yourselves out. I'll go and get my own food. But I was thinking, no, I really want a Nando's. But I just didn't know, because like it was quiet downstairs because there was no telly on or anything like that. And I was thinking to myself, like, why would you not just shout me or come upstairs, knock my door or whatever? Didn't do any of that. But then I gets a call from one of the lads that was supposed to be going with us. And I answered it, and he went, yo, Pens, where are you? And I went, I'm at the house. He went, lad, we're at Nando's. Like, why didn't you come along? Like the lad I live with said that they said you didn't want to come. And I was like, the guy didn't even ask me. And what sold me so much was the fact that I think they had like Nando's music on in the background, but someone was playing it through YouTube. They must have been. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, they're at Nando's. Like, I said, all right, well, I'll get ready now and I'll meet you there. I was like, well, he said, Oriole, because our food's like on its way. I'm thinking, don't rush me, like, because you lot are there now, blah, blah, blah. So I'm fuming at this point. I've just got not thinking straight, just mad, angry. Anyway, so I'm like, I was thinking, no, let me just go check downstairs and see like what the situation is. Anyway, so gone downstairs, not expecting anything. It's pitch black. Gone down the stairs, I had to come back on myself to go towards like the kitchen and stuff. But I've come down, and as I've gone towards the kitchen, I swear my soul left my body. The lad I lived with was hidden under the stairs, like under like some like storage bits that he had there, and just like, and he must have been recording or timing it for when he heard me coming down the stairs, because he was recording it, and just jumped out and scared me. I went flying. I honestly, the heart attack, nearly died, and I can't forget that moment, because I've never been so scared in my life. But as I said, do you know what? Fair play. You've done me a solid there. I can hold my hands up to a good prank.
Did you not try and punch him? Surely you would just.
Nah, I'll be honest. I jumped back and I started running back towards the stairs to get upstairs again, because I was thinking, was like that's not him, because it was too dark for me to see. Yeah. And he said he just started laughing. He said, "Get your shoes on. Come on, we're off." And I was like, "Right, well, give me a second. I just need to calm back down. I've got palpitations. I'm sweating. Oh god."
So someone call an ambulance for me, please.
Oh, just get me gas and air, something just to calm me down.
Oh man, Shane, Alex, don't listen. Shane, Alex Penn is so lovely. I feel like we're doing him a disservice by letting him go right now. I feel like we should ask him more questions because he's so lovely. But we did this with AMS though. We just kept talking, and he loved it though. And he invited us for a Costa on the Wednesday. He said, "Listen, guys, I'm not doing anything on Wednesdays. You want to join me at Costa? You're more than welcome." So
the thing is, he'll say that now, and then you might message him, and it's like, and his plans will change. So you'll need to message him in advance to book a time slot. I'm telling you that from experience.
Right. Okay. So I always ask this question. And do you know what? It's funny because the players at Harriers, I ask them this question, they're just shrinking violets. Because I always say, Alex, who's the best player at the club? But no, you can't say yourself. And do you know what? AMS nearly cried. Do
you know? But then I have a great response for this. No matter whoever asked me this question, define best to me, because as a footballer in my position, like my situation, when someone says best, it's like, are they the best? Are they the best scorer? Are they the best passer? Are they the best technically? They're the best defender. What defines best?
Shane's ruined it now, mate. We should get rid of it.
This is why you've got to think laterally about it.
Yeah,
it's a top reply, isn't it? Really?
Okay, no, okay. So I didn't say this last time. I said, who do you see at the club? And then you watch them in training, you watch them on the match day, and you just think, my goodness, they're just a different gravy, as you would like, because you're Northern. Different gravy altogether.
Gravy.
Yeah.
So for me,
It's hard, isn't it?
it's not really. So for me, for what I judge the best on, because if you're the best at something, then collectively as a whole, you can almost do everything. And for that reason, I'd say Sammy Austin. Purely because I'm saying it because of this as well. When I first signed at the club, he was playing as a left wing back, and going into the season after he started playing as a number 10. And then when I started seeing him doing things in training and in games that he wasn't doing when I first signed, made me think, why have you been playing out of position? Like, you're not a wing, you're definitely not a wing back. You are a number 10. So, and and then his work rate on and off the ball, like, this guy will cover the most distance after every single game. Yes. And I even watching Tuesday night, I remember there was one point he was over at the right trying to overlap, didn't get it, and then the ball got crossed in, and then he was already back at the halfway line, and then he got the ball back, and I was thinking, I swear he was just over there. I'm like, so it baffles me. It baffles me how he's got, like, he has to have a third lung, but in terms of ability, technical ability, physically, obviously, to me, he's not the strongest, but he knows how to use his body. So he's smart. So he's got a footballing brain. So for everything based on that as a whole, like right foot, left foot, he's the best at what he does for our team.
Okay. This then leads on to the next question. Which player would you take on a night out with you? Who would you go on a night out with? Only one.
That is the worst question. That is the horrible question. Oh my days. Because I feel like I could upset a lot of people here. I'd honestly.
Only if they watch it, which they probably will. So, it's just you could say me and Shane. I mean, we wouldn't mind, would we, Shane? I wouldn't have thought it'd be fine.
Well, Chinese after as well. Yeah. Before.
Yeah, we need a Chinese at some point. China Lodge. It's all right, Alex. We'll just keep padding for time, mate. You just keep thinking.
I honestly, because I'm thinking about different environments I would be in with each player, and I've had some unbelievable moments, like on and off the pitch, with everybody there.
Do you want me to describe a venue for you, and you can tell me who slots into that?
Yeah.
Would that help you out, baby? Would that help?
Because I know if it was like, if I was to go to, I don't know, just a pub or something, I'm choosing Lowy, like 100%, because I know me and Lowy get on like a house on fire, so I'd be choosing Lowy. But then you said night out, so it threw a spanner in the works.
So, Shane, can you think of anywhere we could send him to?
Ooh. I suppose that is a good question. What is a night out? Because it can't just
don't
be,
you start, Jesus.
It can't just be that pub night out, and that's
It depends.
Okay. It depends what you like.
I feel like I've got an answer. So like each person that is at the club, I could go to them with different venues. Like Caleb, I could go on a night out with. I could go to the pub with. I could go and do whatever with Caleb. He's like a little brother. But then at the same time, I feel like I would choose Morgs to go on a night out with. But like I'd choose him for each different one as well, because me and Morgs just bounce off each other, like in terms of banter and whatnot, and like just as a whole, I'd choose Morgs. I don't need to really justify it. And if he hears me say the answer Morgs, he would know the reasons as to why I've chosen him.
I'm glad you're not going to share them with us. That's brilliant. That's a great answer.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
You're making it sound like.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's fair. It's the unspoken. I think that's fair. I think we've got enough there.
Amari is single, right? And
okay.
Well, he was last time we spoke to him, and that was last week. And
Don't worry, he still is. He still is.
okay. Well, I'm sure he is. He's I don't know what was he talking. We said. I said. Have you ever?
I was gonna say, don't drop me in it here.
No.
This
I
is
said.
all you. Wes.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is
It was
all
all
you.
me. It's fine. He's my friend. He's my homie. We speak on Twitter all the time. Not really. Just once, maybe once or twice. Twitter friend. And I said, Amari, imagine, Amari, Russ Penn's been on the phone and he says, Amari, you scored 15 goals tonight in the game. That was amazing. I want you to go out. Yeah, this is all fantasy, obviously. And I said, Russ says he wants you to go out and have a great time. And you're going to a bar and there's a load of single ladies there. So which wingman do you bring with you? And honestly, he nearly cried. He was like, Anyway, he took Hemo in the end. He took Hemo as his wingman. So
actually, no. To be fair, I'll give him that. If you didn't choose me, like if you didn't have me in his top two, like I would be very disappointed.
Obviously.
However, I can understand why he's chosen Hemo because they're closer in age, and they can. I understand why he'd choose Hemo.
Hemo can dance, apparently. That's what he said, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he can. He's got a few moves here and there. He keeps on the down low until he hears like a song that sets him off, and then that's it. His hips don't lie.
All right, Shakira. Yeah, Shakira, and then boom, he's gone. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? I just thought of a great question then, and
oh god.
I should have thought about this before you actually came on, Alex. So if do you ever play Football Manager?
I used to. I don't have enough hours in the day anymore.
Have you ever been a player on Football Manager?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. How much were you worth on Football Manager? Do you remember?
Oh, I
like $6 grand or something.
I don't remember. I know all my mates and stuff that do or have played Football Manager at the time did show me like screenshots and stuff of it, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. That's what I never did on Football Manager or FIFA. I never bought myself or got myself.
Oh come on! You've let every man down now who wants to be a footballer when they're growing up, and you've not bought yourself a Championship Manager. Ridiculous.
Maybe that's just me, but I just never did it. I wish I had it done at the times and stuff, but I never did. I tell you one though. I remember I was playing Ultimate Team on FIFA, and one of the packs that I opened, I got myself then in the pack, so I never technically didn't buy myself. Like I got myself in a pack.
I don't know what that means. So
the question is what did you do with yourself? Was it straight in the team, on the bench, quick sell? What did you do with yourself?
Quick sell, discard. I got 255 coins, and I was happy.
Take the money. Take the money.
So, which player at the club do you think would be worth the most amount of money on Football Manager?
It's a great question.
Shane, do you know the answer to this?
Well, if we'd have prepped this, I could have set up a new save and done it, but we'll be here till tomorrow otherwise.
Oh, okay.
I think it'd be any of the front four, like Morgs, Sammy, Mars or Hemo. Any of those four would be. I reckon Hemo would be the most expensive.
He's my guy.
Yeah.
But one thing
is he your Twitter friend as well?
We're just friend. I mean, we're moving in together, so it's fine. It's just fine. My wife will understand.
One thing I can confirm from I've just loaded my file up. I'm in the second season, and Mr. Alex Penny is still in and around the squad.
Mm.
Oh,
but
thank goodness.
Cheers, thank you.
First choice right back. Why wouldn't you be?
That breeds me with confidence.
Absolutely.
I had a few bids in for people in the summer. I feel like I've let everybody down, but we might have I had a bid in for Hemo from Grimsby. He went to League Two. I got 5k for him, and then I got 20 grand for Sammy Austin. So
Sammy Austin, you saying Sammy Austin's worth more?
Or my negotiation skills were better on that deal.
I love that.
But obviously, we're missing a few zeros off everything there, aren't we? So
Absolutely.
I mean, for Football Manager, you'd take it.
Do you know what, Alex? We were going to do because we chatted before with 10 minutes. We talked about the Alfreton game and other things like that. And then I was like, Shane, we're just going to do 30 minutes with Alex tonight. 30 minutes, that's it. Anyway, we're over an hour into the whole thing, which is nice. But actually, with you, it's probably about 40 minutes. So what did we learn tonight, Shane, about Alex Penny? Apart from he's a really nice man.
in deja vu, because we said that last week as well, didn't we? But
Did we remember?
Well,
No.
You said that about Morgs. Morgs a nice man.
Morgs is a lovely man.
Nah, he is a top one.
Well, he invited us for a Costa, man, which you haven't done. Just say it.
but we have got a Chinese recommendation.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, and
on
he
a
is.
Sat-
He
yeah,
is going
you-
to
Saturday night,
Wales.
Saturday night after we beat Southport. That's
I feel like you celebrated more when I offered a Chinese locally, whereas like you just brush Morgs' Costa off. I think if you was going to weigh up a Costa or a Chinese after a game, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
this is
but
true.
no, but Morgs was very, very. It had to be a Wednesday because that was his day where he's by himself.
Yeah, because I know weekends, especially Sundays, he's busy and stuff. That's why I learnt my experience with Morg, by the way, on a Sunday. I tried asking him to do stuff and just never goes through. But see, I'm always busy on a weekend because I'd be either traveling back to see my missus or she'd be down here, whichever. So weekends are not good for me usually, but I wouldn't have a Chinese midweek either. So if you booked in advance, I'd just say like, listen, like, baby, I can't see you this weekend. She's like, well, I've got a very important Chinese to enjoy.
In Wales. And then we're going to Barry Island on Sunday, love. So
yeah, sorry, yeah, I'll see you on the 5th of February.
She'd take it well. She sounds lovely. She'd take that really well.
Yeah, she'll be all right. It's just build a bridge, innit?
Well, we've got the Severn Bridge, if that helps, to get over to Wales. I mean, that's absolutely fine. Alex, we've got to end this now, unfortunately, because you've got to go to bed, I'm sure. And Shane's got to write some more stats for Championship Manager or whatever it is. But I did say to you, this is called The Final Word, and the final word should be with you, Alex Penny 23. So you can say whatever you want to say, and that's the end of what we've got.
I can say whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
Whew. This is I didn't actually prepare for this because my mind's been elsewhere, been focusing on other things, been focused on getting back fit.
Costa.
But yeah, Costa's been in there, like
China Lodge.
There's been all sorts. But no, my final word is like I've really appreciated this podcast tonight. I'm happy to be involved with it, and I didn't really have much feedback off any of the other lads about being involved in it. So to me, it's just nice to have like just a normal chat, because it could have been one of them podcasts where it's just like an interview almost. You know what I mean? And nah, I'm glad that it's panned out the way it was, and I really appreciate you wanting to speak to me as well.
Thank you so much, Alex Penny. Shane, can you clap, please, now? Because it's just me clapping. I've got to get one of those clap things on my phone. And
pop down to Leicester when they knocked him about.
No, it's been fantastic. Thank you. It's been really, really good. I know the fans really, really appreciate getting to know the players, which is lovely because we just see you play. I always say, especially to the strikers, Hemo and AMS, that
nearly forgot his name then.
I didn't. I was just thinking of which am I going to call him Baby Cakes? Am I going to call him AMS? I don't know. But I always say to the strikers, right, when you score next and I'm there, you celebrate in the East Stand. You don't run to the main stand. You celebrate in the East Stand, and you'll see me about the halfway line on my little scooter. I'm a silver scooter. You'll see me there, and then we can all celebrate together in that moment. You know, we can do that. Alex, what's the chance of you scoring on the 30th, do you reckon? Do you reckon you'll score then? I reckon you will.
I mean, it's not my main job to do. My main job is to stop it going in net. But if I can score, I'll score. Are
you going to run over to the East Stand, see me and Shane? We've got mental.
I feel like the majority of my goal, well, each goal that I've scored I've always gone over towards the, actually, two have been, so I've actually 50-50. Two I've gone over into the corner, like where there's no fans. and 2 I've gone over to the East End. So I'd like if it's because it's weird. We was having this conversation the other day. Like when you score, you don't necessarily think about things. Like me, for example, after scoring against West Ham, just don't think, your mind's just blurred. And not the last thing, but if you believe you're going to score before and then you just go over it in your head, what is he going to do? But I can promise that I will try my best for the next time I score to come over to the East End.
Definitely. And we'll be there just celebrating and living that dream and stuff. That was the final word. And I wanted to be your final word, not Russell. That's terrible. We've got to work on this, Shane, for the next one, you know. We really do.
That was a one man mistake there, Wes.
Sorry, pal.
Sorry, I'm gonna absolutely throw you to the wolves there.
Alex said so many nice things then. I didn't know if he was going to cry, but I thought if I cried, then all his emotions are coming straight out about the West Ham game and about his history of playing in football and, you know, that kind of thing and stuff. But yeah, that was superb, Alex. Thank you so much. Who are we going to try and get on next? Oh, we got Russ apparently on Monday night.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, we will, but will it?
I reckon it'll be a good one.
Do you reckon he'll be up for it, Russ?
Yeah. See how. Wait, have we got a game Tuesday? No, we've not got a game Tuesday.
No, he told me Monday, in no uncertain terms, Monday. It can be a Monday, this next Monday or the Monday after, that's what he said.
Oh, yeah, because it could even, yeah. It won't be the Monday after, because then that's Kettering.
It won't be the Monday after.
Easter Monday, that.
Yeah, it won't be Easter Monday.
It won't be Easter Monday, no way.
We'll be a little bit busy that day.
So yeah, Alex, sorry. Have you got anything you want us to ask Russ for you? I did say to Luke, do you want me to ask him for a pay rise for you, Luke? And he just laughed. And went, you can do, obviously that'll help.
There's nothing in particular, because if there was something if I was to ask him, I'd just knock on his door. But I don't think there's anything in particular that I'd need to discuss with him now, I think.
Well, the thing is, we can get away with it, whereas you can't. Like, you can get fired from the football team, whereas he'll just hang up on us. You know what I mean? We can really say whatever we want and hopefully get away with it and so that kind of thing. But yeah, Alex, thank you so much for tonight. We really appreciate it, don't we, Shane? Yeah,
absolutely, been more than generous with your time, Alex, and just thanks for everything you've given us tonight and for your time with the club so far. It really, do you know what? It sounds stupid that it's just like, it's not even a podcast, is it really? It's just what we do, put on YouTube. But I mean, by you putting it out there a little bit, Alex, that will affect the fans and stuff. And when I put it on Twitter that you've done that, and they'll all go mad for it, and then maybe I'll get 500 views on Twitter, on YouTube or whatever, and then it brings us all closer together. And there's been seasons where it's felt like, man, it's them against us, and now it doesn't feel like that, you know. So, well, like I was saying at the very beginning, I feel like we've built the community up, and I feel like fans and players are heavily involved with one another after games and stuff. So yeah, hopefully, the fans do pick up on it, and they can listen to some of my stories, my boring stories. Oh, your stories are the most boring, but the best as well. They're the best. They're the best, man. If I'd have led a life like you, I'd have carried on talking on myself forever. I'd be like, no, shut up, I'm still talking. Right, Shane, we're going to go check out the China Lodge, mate, and see what it's all about. I'm going to check out on TripAdvisor. Sounds like a date when you can fit me in around the Costas and everything else. I know. And I've got to try and take your time off more, because he seems like he's got main priority at the minute. Well, he was there first. Do you know what? Actually, I could go on about him forever, but one of the questions was, I think your wife's going to come in afterwards and question you if everything's okay. She's seen him. She knows. she knows. She gets it. She knows. He scored that goal against Reading, which was the most ridiculous goal I've ever seen. I was there for the Reading game, not the West Ham, but the Reading one. That was the most ridiculous goal. Did it go in? Who cares? It counted, you know. It counted. That goal's a goal. But what was funny to me about that, I remember we watched it back, and because I wasn't sure if it went over the line or not. The ball fell to me, so I just passed it into the goal anyway. So the referee had no choice but to give a goal. You could have had that. You could have had that. I know. Yeah. We were looking straight at it. He was like, what the hell is he giving here? I was down to it. Don't matter. Penny's pointed anyway, so I just look for the flag. He said, ain't there, good nuts. Well, I was like looking at the ref for ages,
And I think he was just caught in two minds. I think because everyone started celebrating, and as soon as Morg started running off, I feel like in that moment he just felt, well, I have to give it because it must have gone in. I can't. He wouldn't have been able to give it from there, nor the linesman.
Nice bit of luck, but I think that that clearance you made, I think that's the most replay clearance that I think that I've ever seen. Just constantly on repeat at the end of the game, sliding in, and then on that still, it was brilliant.
And there's that clearance, but there's a clearance against Telford as well. We played them away, and they had a corner in the last minute of the game, and it was like what do you call it? Like just ping pong in the middle of the box, like the ball was just going back and forth. And then I remember it got headed down and landed at the striker's feet, and somehow I managed to get my leg wrapped around and hook the ball away. And then the referee blew the final whistle. So for me, that was just as important as what the FA Cup one was, because we got
Definitely.
3 points go on.
That was down the other end, weren't it, in front of their fans. So we're just there. I was there, and it's just like we can't see a thing. We don't know what's going on. We're just waiting like, and then we just see somebody we don't even know who's booting out. It's just got rid. I think we're all shouting to get rid, and we see it come out, and another massive win on the road as it was back then.
Yeah, that was it. Was me. It was me. I'll take full responsibility.
Are we done now? Are we finally done now? Are we finally done?
So on to Saturday, Southport. Obviously a tough one, but we'll have a fit Alex Penny 1-0 winner in front of the North Stand, headed to the East Stand. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds amazing. I'm not going to be there, but yeah, it sounds brilliant. I'll be in Barry Island, wishing Alex was there as well.
Hopefully you'll be watching in Barry Island, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be lovely stuff. Alex, anyway, I've just been told off by Matt Paddock, or whatever his name is. The media manager, saying, if you want to book the things, you got to book them through me. I think, okay, fine. So there you go. Right, so that's the lovely end to the evening. Alex, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for watching. Peace and love, and we'll see everyone soon. Alex, get better, mate.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers,
Bye,
Alex.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.